A very good morning to all the students. Dear children, today we will start a new chapter from history. Women, caste and reform. With the help of this chapter, we will come to know about the social evils which were there in our society before 200 years ago. In this chapter, we will discuss the condition of women and lower caste people around 200 years ago. We also discuss about some social reformers, or I can say real life heroes who worked tirelessly for the emancipation of women and lower caste people and to reform the society. They fought for the equal rights of lower caste people. They struggled for the education of girls. They argued in the favor of widow remarriage and spent whole of the life to remove these social evils. So let's start. Around the time the British came to India, many social customs and practices which gave women a lower status than men restricted their freedom and made their lives difficult were in practice in many parts of our country. Like girls were married off at an early age. The custom of paying dowry to the groom's family made the girl's child unwelcome in most communities. Many Indians preferred boys over girls, while most girls were neglected by their families, and some were killed as soon as they were born. Women did not have the right to inherit property and were financially dependent on their husbands, in laws, and sons. They were also expected to obey their husbands, in laws, and sons who took all important decisions. Okay, the movement of women were restricted. They were not allowed to move out of their homes. Many communities enforced the Parda system. Under this system, women are not allowed to show their face at all times, especially in front of men. Women were largely denied any formal education. This was because many people at that time believed if a woman was educated, she would be widowed. आई नो आप कहोगे सर ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि अगर कोई गर्ल एजुकेटेड हो जाए तो विडो हो जाएगी. एट दैट पर्टिकुलर टाइम इट वॉज अ सुपरस्टिशियस. बेसलेस है, कंप्लीट बेसलेस है, बट उस टाइम पर वो लोग ऐसा सोचते थे. ठीक है, ये सोसाइटी में सोशल इविल था एक. ओके, men were allowed to have more than one wife. Because of polygamy and the practice of child marriage, young widows were a common sight. रीज़न, अर्ली एज में गर्ल्स की मैरिज हो जाती थी. ठीक है, और एक से ज़्यादा, इट मीन्स मैन को अलाउड था कि वो मोर देन वन मैरिज कर सकता है. ओके, दैट्स वाई जो यंग विडोज हैं वो एक कॉमन चीज हो चुकी थी उस टाइम पर. ओके, एंड वुमेन्स जो विडोज हैं, द रीमैरिज ऑफ विडोज वर अ रेयर फिनोमिना and often not encouraged. On the other hand, a man whose wife died could remarry easily. The practice of sati was very common. In this, the widows burned themselves on the funeral pyre of their husbands. The women who died in this way were called sati. Okay. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि बच्चे क्या वो अपनी मर्जी से इस चीज को एक्सेप्ट करती थी कि उन्हें अपने हस्बैंड के साथ ही जो उनकी फ्यूनरल पेयर है उसी पे बर्न कर लेना है खुद को? क्या उसमें उनकी एक्सेप्टेंस थी? क्या वो चाहती थी ऐसा करना? इट मे बी क्योंकि उन्हें एनकरेज करा जाता था उस टाइम पर, ऐसा शो करा जाता था कि अगर वो ऐसा करेंगी तो उनके लिए, उनकी लाइफ के लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा। मतलब उसको एक कस्टम बना दिया था, उसको एक रिचुअल का पार्ट दे दिया था, ठीक है। एंड द वुमेन हु डिड नॉट परफॉर्म सती लेड द मोस्ट मिजरेबल लाइव्स। Their heads were shaven off. They were given only one meal a day. They were not allowed to attend any family or social functions and were often treated as servants. It was not uncommon, therefore, that women willingly choose to become sati than to live of humiliation. मीन्स इतना ह्यूमिलेशन में ना लाइफ उन्हें अपनी बाकी की स्पेंड करना पड़े, वो किसको चूज कर लेती थी? सती को। ओके। एंड यू नो बच्चे, आज हम बात करते हैं इक्वल राइट्स की, ठीक है, फंडामेंटल राइट्स की। बट फंडामेंटल राइट्स तो बच्चे बहुत दूर की बात है। उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पर वुमेन्स के पास शायद ह्यूमन राइट्स भी नहीं थे। इट मीन्स उन्हें एज ए ह्यूमन भी ट्रीट नहीं किया जाता था। रीज़न, वो अपनी लाइफ में अपनी मर्जी से कुछ नहीं कर सकती थी, ठीक है। ना तो उन्हें प्रॉपर्टी का राइट था, ना एजुकेशन का राइट था। इवन मतलब वो कंप्लीटली डिपेंडेंट किस पे थी? किसी ना किसी तरह से मेल्स पर, चाहे वो सन हो, चाहे वो फादर हो, या फिर हस्बैंड हो। कंप्लीटली वो उन पे डिपेंडेंट थी। ओके। At the time the British came to India, Indian society was divided into a rigid structure on the basis of caste. The caste system had been practiced in our country since the ancient period. It divided Indian society into four classes on the basis of work. Okay, like Brahmins worked as a priest, Kshatriyas as a warriors, Vaishyas as a traders and money lenders, and Shudras as a farm laborers and artisans such as weavers. Initially, a person's caste was determined by the work he did. Okay, initially, a person's caste was determined by the work he did, but later on, it came to be fixed on the basis of birth, which is completely wrong. Okay, this means the son of Kshatriya was regarded a Kshatriya and had to follow the father's profession, and the son of Shudra was considered a Shudra, and so on. People could not change from one class to another. Brahmins and Kshatriyas enjoyed a high status in the society. Vaishyas were next in the social order, followed by Shudras. But the condition of Shudras were very pathetic. The untouchables stood at the lowest rung of the society and had to put up with a lot of humiliation. The untouchables were forced to take up menial jobs for little wages. The higher castes discriminated against them, banning them from using water from their wells, entering their temples or houses, or bathing in the ponds used by them. Any contact with untouchables was said to be polluting. The untouchables were not allowed to sit with upper castes. Okay. Movement for change. By the early 19th century, many Indians had begun questioning social customs and practices which led to the poor treatment of women and lower caste people. They felt unjust practices such as sati needed to be discouraged and called for reform. Many reformers believed education would help women raise their status in society. With the introduction of new communication mediums like printing, many Indians began expressing their views in books, magazines, newspapers, and pamphlets. This allowed them to raise the issue before large section of the society and initiate mass debates on social change. It means at that particular time, most of the people are arguing or debating on these social evils. Okay, a number of reform movements were initiated all over India, which tried to encourage people to abandon unfair social practices. The British too felt the need to uplift Indian women and lower caste people and supported the reformers in their cause. Okay, बच्चे, a society should never become like a pond with stagnant water without movement. It should continue flow and should always try to eradicate social evils. Okay. Now the one of the most famous social reformer is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy is often referred to as the father of modern India on account of his tremendous contribution in the field of reforms. He worked tirelessly to promote the education of girls, widow remarriages, and the abolishment of sati. He opened a number of schools and colleges to encourage education. He believed Western education would improve the lives of women and help in erasing social evils. He threw light on the conditions of Indian women through his writing. He wrote about how women were forced to spend most of their lives inside the four walls of their homes, and how customs such as sati had no place in ancient Indian text. Many later reformers followed his example. They also referred to ancient texts to argue against practices they felt were unjust. It means they use our religious text, our ancient religious text, to show that there is no place of sati in ancient text. Okay. It was because of Raja Ram Mohan Roy's effort the British administration finally banned the practice of sati in 1829. Okay. Raja Ram Mohan Roy also founded a society for social and religious reforms called the Brahmo Sabha in Calcutta. Okay. Now the next reformer is Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar played a big role in the legislation of widow remarriages and the education of girls. Like Ram Mohan Roy, he also used ancient texts to support his argument for widow remarriages. It was mainly due to his efforts that the British government passed the Widow Remarriage Act of 1856, which legally allowed widows to marry again. Those who opposed the act turned against Vidyasagar and even boycotted him. That's it for today. We will continue this chapter in the next lecture. Till then, go through whatever I have taught you. Okay? Thank you and God bless you all.